The lights of Nexus Prime Station sparkled like stars against the black of space. Ambassador Tejo looked out the window of the human ship Harmony and felt his heart beat faster. Today would make history. Earth was about to join the Galactic Council for the first time. "Are you ready, sir?" asked So-Min, the ship's engineer. She stood behind him, holding a data pad with their presentation files. Her dark hair was pulled back neat and professional. "As ready as anyone can be for something like this," Tejo said with a small smile. He was a calm man, chosen for this mission because he could stay cool under pressure. But even he felt nervous about meeting alien races for the first time. Captain Dongwu's voice came over the ship's speakers. "We're getting docking clearance now, landing in Bay 7 in 10 minutes. Security Chief Wu Jin walked up to them. He was a big man with careful eyes. "Sir, I've checked the station 3 times. Security looks normal. But I don't like going in blind like this." "We knew this wouldn't be easy," Tejo said. "But we have to try. Earth needs friends out here." The Harmony was beautiful. Earth's best engineers had worked for 5 years to build her. She was white and silver, shaped like a person standing tall. Her main body was the center section, with 2 wing arms stretched out to the sides. Below that, 2 long engine sections, looked like legs. Every human who saw her felt proud. The ship moved slowly toward the docking bay. Through the windows they could see other alien ships. Some looked like crystals. Others were round like balls or long like snakes. None of them looked anything like the Harmony. "Docking complete," Captain Dongwu announced. "Welcome to Nexus Prime, everyone." Tejo straightened his dark blue uniform. So-Min and Wu Jin did the same. They walked to the airlock together. This was the moment they had trained for. The doors opened. Cool air rushed in, smelling strange but not bad. The docking bay was huge, with a ceiling so high it disappeared in shadows. Dozens of alien beings waited for them. But something was wrong. The aliens were not standing in a welcome group. They were spread out, hiding behind pillars and cargo boxes. Many had weapons. Their eyes were wide with fear. "What's happening?" So-Min whispered. A tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms stepped forward. He spoke through a translation device that made his voice sound like metal. "Humans of Earth, you will stop there. Do not move closer." Tejo raised his hands to show he was peaceful. "I am Ambassador Tejo. We come in peace. We want to join the Galactic Council." "Peace?" the alien said. The word sounded like an insult. "You bring a weapon of mass destruction to our station and speak of peace?" "Weapon?" Tejo looked confused. "Sir, the Harmony is a diplomatic ship. We have no weapons except basic defense systems." Behind the blue alien, other creatures began making sounds. Some were clicking, others were whistling. All sounded angry or scared. A new alien came forward. This one looked like a giant insect with crystal parts growing from its body. When it spoke, the translator made a buzzing sound. "That ship is a shadow walker, we know them. We fear them. They destroyed our worlds long ago." "I don't understand," Tejo said. "Our ship is new. We built it ourselves. We've never been to your worlds." "The shape," the insect alien buzzed. "The cursed humanoid shape. Head, body, arms, legs, like the machines that killed our ancestors." So-Min stepped forward carefully. "Sir, may I speak?" When Tejo nodded, she addressed the aliens. "I helped design our ship. We built it to look like us because that felt natural. We didn't know about your history." The blue alien's 4 arms moved in what might have been anger. "Natural? You call weapons of mass destruction natural?" "It's just a ship," Wu Jin said, his hand moving toward his sidearm. Several alien weapons immediately pointed at him. "Easy," Tejo said quickly. "Everyone stay calm." Back on the Harmony, Dr. Hai-Jin was watching through the ship's cameras. She was on Earth, connected by quantum communication. Her voice came through Tejo's earpiece. "Ambassador, I'm seeing the readings from your suits. These aliens are terrified. Their heart rates are through the roof. We can hear that, Teho muttered. The crystal insect alien moved closer. You will power down your ship. You will surrender it for destruction. Only then will we consider not destroying you. That's not going to happen. Captain Dongwu's voice came from their communicators. He was still on the ship, monitoring everything. Then you are enemies, the blue alien said. Suddenly, alarms started ringing on the station. Red lights flashed. Everywhere, the aliens began shouting in their own languages. What now? Somin asked. On their ship, the Harmony's computer system activated automatically. It was routine maintenance, something that happened every day. The ship's small robots came out to check the hull and fix tiny problems. To humans, this was normal. To the aliens, it looked like the ship was healing itself. It's adapting. The insect alien screamed. Just like the shadow walkers, it repairs itself. No, wait, Somin said desperately. That's just normal maintenance. All our ships do that. All your ships? The blue alien's voice went very quiet. How many weapons like this do you have? Teho realized they were in serious trouble. We have many ships, but they're not weapons. They're for transport, research, exploration. An invasion fleet, another alien whispered. Dr. Hyjin's voice crackled in their ears. Teho, you need to get back to the ship now. I'm reading massive energy buildups on the station. They're powering weapons. We need to talk about this, Teho said to the aliens. There's been a misunderstanding. The only misunderstanding was trusting you to come here, the blue alien said. Station commander, seal the docking bay, prepare to destroy the Shadow Walker ship. Sir, we have families on Earth, Somin said. We have children, art, music. We're not warriors. The Shadow Walker said the same thing, the insect alien replied. Before they turned our homeworlds to ash. Wu Jin looked at the weapons pointed at them. Ambassador, we need to leave now. Security to Docking Bay 7, came an announcement. Contain the humans. Do not let them return to their weapon. Teho looked at his team. Somin was scared but trying to stay brave. Wu Jin was ready to fight but waiting for orders. Around them, dozens of aliens with weapons were closing in. Dr. Hyjin, he said quietly into his communicator. We have a problem. Her voice came back tight with worry. I can see that. The Harmony is surrounded by alien ships now. They're all powering weapons. Can we run? Maybe. But Teho, if we run now, Earth will be marked as an enemy. They'll never trust us. If we stay, we might die. Then we need to find a third option. Fast. The blue alien raised his weapon. You will come with us now. Your ship will be destroyed. Earth will be warned never to send Shadow Walkers again. Teho took a deep breath. Somehow he had to find a way to save his crew, his ship, and Earth's future in the galaxy. But right now, he couldn't see how. The aliens were afraid of something, in their past. Something that looked like the Harmony. Something humanoid that had hurt them badly. But humans had never been to space before. They'd never met aliens before today. So what were the aliens really afraid of? The holding cell on Nexus Prime was cold and gray. Ambassador Teho sat on a metal bench next to Somin and Wu Jin. Through the energy bars, they could see alien guards watching them. The guards looked nervous, like they were guarding something, very dangerous. How long have we been here? Somin asked quietly. 4 hours, Wu Jin said. He had been counting. No food, no water, no word about our ship. Teho tried to stay calm, but worry ate at him. Dr. Hyjin, can you hear me? He whispered into his hidden communicator. Her voice came back weak but clear. I'm here. The signal is bad, but I can hear you. What's happening with the Harmony? Captain Dongwu is okay. The aliens haven't boarded the ship yet, but they have. 20 warships pointed at him. One wrong move and... She didn't finish. Any word from Earth? The government is talking to alien representatives, but the aliens are demanding the ship be destroyed. They won't even discuss other options. The door to their cell area opened. The blue alien from before walked in, followed by the crystal insect. Behind them came a new alien that looked like a walking tree with silver bark. I am Council Elder Mortai, the tree alien said through its translator. I speak for the Galactic Council. Finally, Taeho stood up. Elder, we need to talk. There's been a terrible mistake. The mistake was yours, Mortai said. You brought a shadow walker to our station. We keep telling you we don't know what a shadow walker is, Somin said. The crystal insect made angry buzzing sounds. She lies. All humans lie, just like the Shapers did. Shapers? Taeho asked. Who are the Shapers? Elder Mortai's branches moved in what might have been surprise. You truly don't know? We don't know anything, Woojin said. This is our first time in space beyond our solar system. The three aliens looked at each other. They seemed to be having a silent conversation. Show them, the blue alien said finally. Show them what their kind did to us. Elder Mortai touched a panel on the wall. The air in front of them began to glow. Pictures formed in the light like a movie made of stars. This was 3,000 years ago, Mortai said. The galaxy was young. We had just started talking to each other across the stars. The picture showed beautiful worlds with cities that sparkled like jewels. Different alien races lived together in peace. Ships moved between the stars carrying trade and messages. Then they came, the crystal insect said. Its voice was full of old pain. The Shapers. The picture changed. Now it showed ships that made Taeho's blood run cold. They looked exactly like the Harmony. Humanoid shapes with arms and legs, but massive. Some were as big as cities. The Shapers said they were protectors. Mortai continued. They said they were keeping us safe from something dangerous. But we didn't see any danger. We were happy. The pictures showed the Shaper ships landing on worlds. Wherever they went, they changed things. Cities were rebuilt. Mountains were moved. Whole planets were reshaped. They wouldn't listen to us, the blue alien said. We told them to leave us alone, but they said we didn't understand the threat. What threat? Somin asked. They never told us, the crystal insect buzzed. They just kept changing our worlds, preparing for some war that never came. The pictures became darker. The alien races began to fight back, but their weapons couldn't hurt the Shaper ships. The humanoid vessels could repair themselves instantly. They adapted to every attack. The war lasted 500 years, Mortai said. Billions died. Whole star systems were destroyed. Taeho watched in horror as the pictures showed burning worlds and broken ships. But why? What did the Shapers want? Control, the blue alien said. They wanted to control everything. They said it was for our own good. Then they just stopped, Mortai said. The pictures showed the Shaper ships suddenly going dark. They stopped moving, stopped fighting, stopped everything. One day they were there, the next day they were gone. Gone where? Woojin asked. Nobody knows. They left their dead ships behind. We destroyed everyone we could find. But the memory stayed. The fear stayed. The picture faded away. The three aliens stared at the humans with a mix of fear and anger. And now you come, the crystal insect said, with ships that look exactly like theirs, claiming to be peaceful, just like they did. But we're not them, Taeho said desperately. We've never been to your worlds. We've never even met aliens before today. Your ship repairs itself, the blue alien said, just like theirs did. Our ship has maintenance robots, Somin explained. All of our technology works that way. It's efficient. Efficient, Mortai repeated the word like it tasted bad. That's what the Shapers said. Dr. Hyjin's voice crackled in Taeho's ear. Taeho, I'm hearing all of this. We need to talk privately. Elder, Taeho said, may I speak with my team? Alone for a moment. You may speak, Mortai said. But we will listen. You have no privacy here. Taeho nodded. Dr. Hyjin, what are you thinking? Her voice was worried. The timeline bothers me. They said the Shapers disappeared 3,000 years ago. But humans were still living in caves then. We couldn't have built spaceships. So we're not the Shapers, Somin said with relief. Maybe not, Dr. Hyjin said. But the ship designs are identical. That can't be a coincidence. What are you suggesting? Woojin asked. I don't know yet. But I'm running every test I can think of. Something about this doesn't add up. The crystal insect moved closer to the cell. What doesn't add up, human? Dr. Hyjin was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke carefully. Honored aliens, may I ask a question about the Shapers? Ask, Mortai said. Did they look like us? Like humans? The three aliens exchanged glances again. We don't know, the blue alien admitted. We never saw them. Only their ships. They never came out of their ships? Somin asked. Never. They communicated through machines. We assumed they were hiding because they were ugly or frightening. Or because they were already dead, Dr. Hyjin said quietly. What do you mean? Taiho asked. What if the Shaper ships were automatic? What if there was nobody inside them? Elder Mortai's branches shook. Impossible. The ships were too smart, too adaptable. They had to have pilots. Maybe, Dr. Hyjin said. Or maybe they were programmed by someone very smart. Someone who knew that other races would need protection someday. Protection from what? The crystal insect demanded. I don't know, Dr. Hyjin admitted, but maybe we're about to find out. Alarms suddenly started ringing throughout the station. Red lights flashed in the corridors outside their cell. What now? Wu Jin asked. A voice came over the station's speakers. All personnel to emergency stations. Unknown energy readings detected in Sector 7. All ships prepare for possible hostile contact. The three alien guards ran out of the room. Through the energy bars, Taiho could see aliens running in panic through the corridors. Dr. Hyjin, he said urgently. What's happening? Her voice came back full of fear. Taiho, our sensors are picking up something impossible. There are ships out there, big ones, and they're not from any race we know about. Shaper ships? Somin asked. No, Dr. Hyjin said. Something else. Something that makes the Shapers look small. Through the station's hull, they could hear a sound. It was low and deep, like a whale song, but wrong somehow. It made their teeth hurt and their bones feel cold. The Shapers, Mortai whispered from the doorway. He had come back and his voice was full of ancient terror. They said they were protecting us from something. Maybe they were telling the truth. The sound came again, closer this time. And in that moment, Taiho realized that the galaxy's greatest fear wasn't the Shapers. It was whatever the Shapers had been trying to protect them from, and now it was coming back. The energy bars around their cell flickered and died. Emergency power kicked in, painting everything in red light. Elder Mortai stood in the doorway, his silver bark trembling. The containment field is failing, he said. The station is losing power. What's out there? Ambassador Taiho asked as he stepped out of the cell. Before Mortai could answer, the station shook. It felt like something huge had brushed against the hull. Through the walls, they could hear metal groaning under stress. We need to get to the command center, Ujin said. We need to see what we're dealing with. You are prisoners, the blue alien said. But his voice shook with fear. Right now, we're all in the same danger, Somin said. Let us help. The crystal insect made clicking sounds. Help? Your people brought this curse on us. We didn't bring anything, Taiho said firmly. We came here for peace. Another sound echoed through the station. It was like metal being torn apart, but deeper, slower, more deliberate. Dr. Hyjin's voice crackled through their communicators. Taiho, can you hear me? The signal is getting weaker. We can hear you. What's happening out there? Something is scanning the station. Big energy beams are sweeping back and forth, and Taiho, the things out there aren't ships. What do you mean? I mean they're alive. They're breathing. They have heartbeats. Somin grabbed Taiho's arm. Living ships? No, Dr. Hyjin said. Living creatures, in space, without suits or ships. They're huge. The smallest one is bigger than our ship. Elder Mortai's branches drooped. The void feeders. The Shapers spoke of them in the old records. We thought they were myths. What are void feeders? Wujin asked. Creatures that eat energy, that eat life itself. The Shapers said they came from between the stars, from the empty places where nothing should live. The station shook again, harder this time. Lights went out in sections. Through the walls, they could hear aliens screaming. The command center, Mortai said. We must reach it, follow me. They ran through corridors filled with panicking aliens. Some were trying to get to escape pods. Others were running toward weapon stations. All of them looked terrified. There, Mortai pointed to a large door marked with alien symbols. The command center. Inside, dozens of aliens worked at control stations. Screens showed views of space around the station. What Tejo saw made his blood freeze. The creatures were beautiful and horrible at the same time. They looked like jellyfish made of starlight, but each one was kilometers across. Their tentacles reached out and touched ships, and wherever they touched, the metal became dark and cold. They're draining power from our ships, the blue alien said. He was at a control station, pressing buttons frantically. How many are there? Somin asked. 12, came a voice from across the room. It was Captain Dongwu. He had somehow made it to the command center from the Harmony. Captain, Tejo was relieved to see him. How did you get here? The aliens let me dock when the creatures showed up. Enemy of my enemy and all that. Dongwu looked grim. But Tejo, we have a bigger problem. Bigger than space monsters? The Galactic Council fleet is coming, 200 warships. They think we called these things here. What? Somin stared at him. That's insane. Is it? The crystal insect turned from its station. You arrive. Then these creatures appear. The timing is suspicious. It's a coincidence, Wu Jin said. We don't believe in coincidences, Elder Mortai said. Not when it comes to humans. On the screens they could see more ships arriving. These were military vessels bristling with weapons. But they weren't just pointing at the creatures. They were pointing at the Harmony too. Dr. Hyojin, Tejo said into his communicator. Are you seeing this? Yes. Tejo, you need to know something. I've been studying the data from these creatures. Their energy patterns match something in our historical records. What do you mean? Remember the strange radio signals we picked up from deep space? The ones we could never explain? They match these creatures' energy signatures. Somin looked confused. But those signals have been coming for decades, long before we built spaceships. Exactly, Dr. Hyojin said. Which means these creatures have been trying to reach Earth for a long time. Reach Earth? Captain Dongwu asked. Why? I don't know. But Tejo, there's something else. The Harmony is reacting to them. Reacting how? The ship's systems are activating on their own. Subsystems I didn't even know we had. It's like the ship knows what these things are. On the command center, screens, they watch the Harmony begin to change. Panels on its hull opened, revealing structures that definitely weren't in the original design. The ship's arms moved, reaching out toward the creatures. Impossible, Somin whispered. I helped build that ship. Those systems aren't supposed to exist. Then how are they there? Wu Jin demanded. A new voice came over the station's communication system. It was cold and mechanical. Galactic Fleet Command to Nexus Prime. You have 30 minutes to surrender the human vessel and its crew. After that, we will destroy them and anything that protects them. They're going to shoot us, Captain Dongwu said. Not if we surrender, Tejo said. No, Elder Mortai said. Look at the creatures. They're moving toward your ship. On the screens, the space jellyfish were swimming through space toward the Harmony, but they weren't attacking it. They were circling it like they were greeting it. Dr. Hyojin, Somin said urgently, what's happening to our ship? It's talking to them, came the impossible answer. The Harmony is communicating with the creatures in a language I don't understand. Ships don't talk, the blue alien said. Ours does, apparently, Captain Dongwu said grimly. The crystal insect made angry buzzing sounds, just like the Shapers. Their ships were too smart, too alive. Maybe, because they weren't really ships, Dr. Hyojin said. Maybe they were something else. What do you mean? Tejo asked. I mean, maybe the Shapers didn't build ships that looked like people. Maybe they were people who learned to become ships. The thought was so strange that nobody spoke for a moment. Then, the Harmony did something that made everyone stare. It changed shape. Its arms reached out farther. Its legs spread wider. And from its center, a pulse of light shot out toward the creatures. The space jellyfish pulsed back. Then they began to sing. The sound came through the station's hull like a whale song, but beautiful instead of frightening. It made the humans feel peaceful, but it made the aliens cover their ears in pain. 25 minutes until the fleet arrives, came the cold announcement. We need to make a choice, Tejo said. Fight, run, or surrender. There's a fourth option, Captain Dongwu said. We find out what our ship really is. How? Someone needs to go aboard the Harmony. Someone needs to connect with whatever is happening. That's suicide, Wu Jin said. The ship is changing. We don't know what it might do. I'll go, said a new voice. Everyone turned. It was Yunbi, the ship's pilot. She had been quiet until now, but her eyes were bright with something that might have been understanding. I've been feeling something since we got here, she said. Like the ship is trying to tell me something. Like it knows me. That's impossible, So-min said. Is it? Yunbi asked. Dr. Hyejin, you said the ship has systems that shouldn't exist. What if they were always there? What if we just couldn't see them before? What are you suggesting? Taiho asked. I'm suggesting that maybe we didn't build the Harmony, Yunbi said. Maybe it built itself, through us. The idea was terrifying, but as they watched the ship continue to change and grow and sing to the creatures, it started to make sense. 15 minutes, came the announcement. I'm going to the ship, Yunbi said. I'm going to find out what we really are. Pilot Yunbi ran through the docking tube toward the Harmony. Behind her, she could hear Ambassador Tejo shouting for her to stop. But she couldn't stop. Something was pulling her forward, like a voice in her head calling her home. The ship's airlock opened before she reached it. The lights inside were different now. Not the white LED lights she remembered, but something warmer. Something alive. Yunbi, don't do this. Captain Dongwu's voice came through her communicator. We don't know what the ship might do to you. I have to, she said, stepping inside. It's trying to show me something. The moment her feet touched the ship's floor, everything changed. Visions flooded her mind. She saw Earth, but not the Earth. She knew. This Earth was millions of years ago when humans were still learning to use tools. But in the sky above the primitive humans, there were ships, humanoid ships like the Harmony. The Shapers, she whispered. The vision changed. Now she saw the Shapers themselves. They looked like humans, but older somehow, wiser, sadder. They watched over the early humans like parents watching children. Are you? A voice said in her mind. It was gentle and familiar. And you are us. I don't understand, Yunbi said out loud. The vision showed her the truth. The Shapers were humans from the future. They had learned to travel through time as well as space. They had come back to guide their own ancestors. But why? She asked. The scene changed again. Now she saw space itself tearing open. Creatures poured through the tiers, the void feeders. But these weren't the gentle beings outside the station now. These were hungry, angry, desperate. They devoured entire solar systems, leaving nothing but cold emptiness behind. We fought them, the voice continued, for thousands of years, but we couldn't win by destroying them. Why not? Because they were us too. The vision showed her the horrible truth. The void feeders were what humans became in another timeline. A timeline where they never learned to care for others, where they consumed everything until only hunger remained. So we made a choice, the voice said. We split time itself. We created a new path for humanity. A path where you would learn to protect instead of consume. The ships, Yunbi realized. You made yourselves into ships to guide us. Yes, we became the tools you would need. We hid ourselves in your dreams, your instincts, your technology. When you were ready, we would awaken. And now we're ready? You built us without knowing why. You shaped us to look like people because deep down you remembered what we were, and now the Void Feeders have found this timeline too. On the command center screens, everyone watched Yunbi standing motionless in the ship's corridor. Her eyes were closed, but she was talking to someone they couldn't see. What's she doing? So-min asked. She's learning, Dr. Haijin said through the communicator. I'm reading her brain activity. She's processing more information than should be possible. 10 minutes until the fleet arrives, came the cold announcement. Elder Mortai turned to Taeho. Your pilot is connecting with the ship, just like the Shapers did. Is that good or bad? Wu Jin asked. I don't know, Mortai admitted. The Shapers saved us from one threat, but they also nearly destroyed us. On the screens, the space creatures were moving closer to the station, but now the humans could see they weren't trying to attack. They were trying to communicate. Dr. Haijin, Taeho said. Can you translate what they're saying? I'm trying. But it's not really language. It's more like emotion. They're afraid. Afraid of what? The fleet that's coming. They know those ships carry weapons that can hurt them. Inside the Harmony, Unbi opened her eyes, but when she spoke, her voice was different, older, sadder. Cousins, she said, looking directly at the camera. We meet again. Yunbi? Captain Dongwu asked. Is that you? I am Yunbi, but I am also more now. I remember what we were, what we did, what we must do again. The Shapers, Elder Mortai, whispered. They're back. We never left, Yunbi said. We just waited for our past selves to be ready. The crystal insect made angry buzzing sounds. You lied to us. You are the Shapers. No, Yunbi said gently. We are what the Shapers became. They were humans who learned to travel through time. We are humans who learned to travel through possibility. What does that mean? So-min asked. It means we can choose which future becomes real, Yunbi explained. The Shapers fought the Void, feeders with weapons, and lost. We will fight them with understanding. Understanding? Wu Jin laughed bitterly. Those things want to eat us. No, Yunbi said. They want to go home. They're from a timeline where their son died, where their world froze. They've been traveling between realities looking for a place to live. So we just let them take our worlds? The blue alien demanded. We find them a world of their own, Yunbi said. An empty world where they can heal. 5 minutes, came the announcement. The fleet won't listen, Taeho said. They're too afraid. Then we show them something worth hoping for instead of fearing, Yunbi said. The Harmony began to change again. But this time, it wasn't just growing. It was becoming beautiful. Its hull turned transparent, showing light flowing through it, like blood through veins. Its arms reached out not in threat but in invitation. What are you doing? So-min asked. Showing them what we really are, Yunbi said. Not weapons, not conquerors, gardeners. The ship sent out a pulse of light, but this light didn't hurt or destroy. Wherever it touched, things began to grow. Dead asteroids sprouted crystals. Empty space filled with tiny lights like seeds. The Void Feeders stopped moving toward the station. Instead, they began to sing. Their song was no longer sad. It was hopeful. Impossible. Elder Mortai breathed. They're creating life, not destroying it. That's what humans do, Yunbi said. When we're at our best, we make gardens in the darkness. On the screens, the Galactic Council fleet appeared. 200 warships, all with weapons pointed at the station and the human ship. Unknown vessel, came a broadcast. You will surrender, immediately or be destroyed. They won't listen, the blue alien said. They're too afraid. Then we show them what hope looks like, Yunbi said. The Harmony began to sing. Its voice joined with the Void Feeders, creating a harmony that made everyone who heard it feel peaceful. Even the angry aliens in the command center stopped shouting. All ships, Yunbi broadcast on all frequencies. We are not your enemies. We are your gardeners. Let us show you what we can grow together. The light from the ship reached the fleet. Where it touched their hulls, flowers began to bloom, not damaging the ships but decorating them, making them beautiful. Some of the fleet ships stopped advancing. Their captains were too amazed to keep fighting. But others kept coming, weapons charging. They're still going to shoot, Wu Jin said. I know, Yunbi said sadly. Some people need to learn to hope the hard way. The lead warship fired. A massive energy beam shot toward the Harmony. But the ship didn't dodge or defend itself. Instead, it caught the beam of destruction and turned it into something else. The energy became butterflies, made of light, thousands of them flying in beautiful patterns around the station. How? Somin whispered. We learned, Yunbi said. We learned that everything can be transformed. Even hate can become love if you know how to hold it right. The fleet stopped shooting. Even the angriest captains couldn't bring themselves to fire on something so beautiful. This is Admiral J. Sung of the Galactic Defense Force, came a new voice. Human ship, please explain what you are doing. We're gardening, Yunbi said simply. Would you like to help? 3 months after the incident at Nexus Prime, Ambassador Taeho stood in the Galactic Council chambers. But this time, he wasn't a prisoner. He was addressing the largest gathering of alien races in galactic history. Friends, he began, using the translation device that Yunbi had helped design. It didn't just translate words now, it translated feelings, hopes, dreams. We have learned much about ourselves in these past months. In the audience, he could see Elder Mortai, his silver bark now decorated with small flowers that the Harmony had given him. The blue alien sat next to the crystal insect, and both of them wore necklaces made of light crystals. Gifts from the void feeders. We learned that the Shapers were not conquerors, Taeho continued. They were gardeners, like us. They came from a future where they had learned to transform hate into love, fear into hope, destruction into creation. Captain Dongwu sat in the human section, next to Somin and Wu Jin. All of them wore new uniforms that seemed to shimmer, with their own inner light. Dr. Hyojin was there too, having finally made the trip from Earth to see the wonders they had discovered. The Void Feeders were not monsters, Taeho said. They were refugees, lost souls from a timeline where their world had died. They had forgotten how to create, remembering only how to consume. But with patience and understanding, they remembered their true nature. On the screens around the chamber, images showed the new world the Void Feeders had been given. It was a dead planet in an empty system, but under their touch, it was becoming a garden of impossible beauty. Crystal trees reached toward twin suns, and lakes of liquid starlight reflected forests of singing stones. But most importantly, Taeho said, we learned that we are all connected. Human, Kritak, Velnari, all of us. We are branches of the same tree, gardeners in the same cosmic garden. Pilot Yunbi stood up from the human section. She looked the same as before, but her eyes held depths that seemed to contain entire universes. When she spoke, her voice carried the wisdom of the Shapers. The future is not fixed, she said. Every choice we make creates new possibilities. The Shapers showed us one path, the path of protection through force. But we have found a better way, she gestured, and the air in the chamber filled with light. The light showed visions of possible futures. In some, the galaxy was filled with gardens. In others, war and destruction ruled. All of them were real. All of them were possible. We choose which future becomes reality, Yunbi said. Not through weapons or force, but through the choices we make every day. The choice to help instead of hurt, to create instead of destroy, to understand instead of fear. Admiral Jae Sung stood up from the military section. He was a stern man who had commanded the fleet that nearly destroyed the humans. But now he wore flowers in his hair, a gift from the reformed Void Feeders. 3 months ago, I was ready to destroy the human ship, he said. I thought they were bringing war to our galaxy. Instead, they brought something I had forgotten existed. They brought hope. Elder Mortai's branches rustled as he stood. The Galactic Council has reached a decision. We invite humanity to join us not as new members, but as teachers. You will help us learn to garden the stars." The chamber erupted in sounds of approval. Clicks, whistles, chimes, and songs from dozens of different species all saying the same thing. Yes. But Tejo raised his hand for quiet. "We accept," he said. "But not as teachers, as students. We all have things to learn from each other." Dr. Hyojin stood up next. "The research we've done in these months has shown us incredible things. Human DNA contains markers from dozens of different species. We're not just related to the Shapers, we're related to all of you." "Impossible," the crystal insect buzzed. But it sounded more curious than angry now. "Not impossible," Somin said, standing with a datapad in her hands. "Inevitable. The Shapers didn't just travel through time, they traveled through the genetic code of life itself. They planted seeds of themselves in every species that would one day reach for the stars." "Why?" asked a new alien, one with skin like flowing water. Yunbi smiled. "Because they knew that someday we would all need to work together. They knew that the greatest threats to life come not from outside, but from loneliness, from the fear that we are alone in the universe." "But we're not alone," Wu Jin said. "We never were." On the screens, new images appeared. Human ships were working, alongside alien vessels building something incredible. It was a space station, but not like any ever seen before. It looked like a flower blooming among the stars, with petals made of different technologies from different species. "The Garden Station," Captain Dongwu announced. "A place where all species can come to learn, to share, to grow together." "And the Void Feeders?" Elder Mortai asked. "They're the gardeners," Yunbi said. "They remember now how to tend growing things instead of consuming them. They've offered to help us spread life to empty systems." The blue alien stood up. "What? About the Shaper ships? The old ones we destroyed?" "We're rebuilding them," Dr. Hyojin said. "But not as weapons, as gardens. Each one will be a world unto itself, capable of bringing life to the darkest corners of space." A young alien with scales like rainbow gems raised a tentacle. "What if more threats come from outside our galaxy?" "Then we'll face them together," Tejo said. "Not with weapons, but with understanding. Not with fear, but with hope." Yunbi stepped. "Fortier. The Shapers left us one final gift. A message for when we were ready to hear it." The chamber grew quiet. Even the translation devices seemed to hold their breath. They said, "Do not mourn us, we are not gone. We are in every flower that blooms in darkness, every song that brings joy, every hand that reaches out to help another. We are in you, and you are in us, and together we are the garden that grows between the stars." The lights in the chamber dimmed, and for a moment everyone could see it. The galaxy not as a collection of separate worlds and species, but as a single, living garden. Each star was a flower. Each planet was a seed. Each species was a different kind of gardener, all working together to make something beautiful. "So," Tejo said into the wonderful silence, "shall we get to work?" The answer came not in words, but in action. All around the chamber, aliens began reaching out to each other. Tentacles touched hands. Claws gently held delicate fins. Different species sang together in harmonies that had never been heard before. And in space outside the station, the harmony danced with the Void Feeders, their lights creating patterns of joy that could be seen from 1,000 light-years away. The garden was growing, and it would never stop growing. Humanity had found its place among the stars, not as conquerors or destroyers, but as what they had always been meant to be, gardeners of hope in the infinite darkness. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly as it should be.